All right. Welcome, everybody, to the 20 years of Shakuhachi with me. I mean, for me, I've been spending 20 years with Shakuhachi. And this flute here is the, I don't know if you can see it. That was the one that I got on April 7th, 2001. Also made by Ken Lacoste, who made all of the flutes that we're playing today. So thanks. Good to see everybody over there. The sun's going down. We have a big audience here of single digits, let's just say, but they're big in spirit. Welcome over there. So the sun may go down. I can't control the lighting of the video as we're out here on the side of our barn. Okay, well, let me check the I'm going to check these mics. I don't know if you can even really hear me because I wasn't on the mic. So this is really where I'm talking from most of the time. So I'm going to play a few notes and then I'll go to the chat to see what people think of the sound here for music. Make sure it's not overloading. That's about as loud as that'll get. This is how we do sound check in the Brave New World. Okay. Nobody's saying anything except Felicia. She's just around the corner in her office. All right. Nicholas says sounds good. All right. So without further ado, we'll get started. You can hear there's always somebody pounding or destroying something out here. Thanks, Bonnie. So the program today, it's going to be a short concert of just 3 songs, 2 brand new solo pieces for Taimu, and then a Taimu duet that was written in 2009 after my trip to Japan with my teacher and a couple other of his students. And my student, Kevin Chen, will be joining me for that. And he's going to stand over here, out here in the backwoods barn Shakuhachi jamboree setup. So the sun's going down behind the barn, so it may be a little shadowy. I'm going to do a little adjustment on the camera and then get started on the first piece after a little more of a warm-up. So let's see. How's that? Does that make any difference? We don't know. It's all about the sound anyway.
You close those doors.
All right, everyone. So it's 2021. The year is 2021. Welcome to the new world. 20 more years of Shakuhachi, then 20 more after that. This is a brand new piece called Root Doctor. There's really such a thing as root doctors. At least there used to be. And there will be again in the brave new world. That wasn't supposed to be the theme, but I knew that Gordon would laugh, which he did. So that's okay. Here we go. This is also our new motto for Black Earth Shakuhachi School: heavy riffs, light baggage, nature rooted. Root Doctor. Okay, thank you. The root doctor is in. They also called them Indian doctors in the early days of pre-holistic herbalism in North America. Of course, for us, it means these roots here, as you can see. Most of you are aware that we're fixated on roots. Let's go to the comment section and give myself a break. Okay. Good. I'm glad that bringing the microphones outside was a good idea. Of course, there's 4 people that are getting to hear the live chi infused version, but you have the digital version there. So moving right along, let's do the next tune. As the sun is continuing its journey across the sky, or down. Actually, it's not moving at all. The Earth is moving. Tough crowd.
I don't know that the sun is.
There's very little that we do know. Okay, so that's Root Doctor. Now, let me talk about that piece a little bit for those of you shakuhachi players joining us. Our lowest note is all the fingers down, except it's not. We can go a whole step lower by going like that. So that's called ro daimeri, and everybody who's playing or studying on this concert knows that. Now, that note on the instruments I used to play would be like a pinky note over here on saxophone or clarinet. So you'd have a pinky key that would open and close a lower hole and get you that lower note. I've avoided writing riffs with that note, which is kind of a drag because I used to write riffs with that all the time down at the bottom of the instruments. So Root Doctor is the first song where I'm making myself incorporate that sub-low note. As a regular part of the riff. So it's a little challenging. And I've been practicing a lot, not here, but just a couple feet over there in this room here, the kitchen. That's where I practice. So it's great to step outside 8 feet and play it for you all. This next piece is also kind of in the riff and anthem. These are kind of non-verbal narratives or kind of anthem kind of pieces. I'm always trying to kind of evoke the feeling of wood elementals and the trees and the creatures. Everything that's, let's not say better, but let's say proto-human and post-human. We're playing post-human music. Thanks, Dan Spriggs, for that phrase. It's a little early for him. No, it's not. You should be awake. There he is. Good to see you there, Dan. So this next piece is also of that style, anthemic with riffs, but there's a little more of our Zen Buddhist influence in terms of the timeless sustain and certain other kinds of scales and intervals. This piece is called Wood Prophet. Very similar to Wood Prophecy, which is the piece that the ensemble is playing. So you can see I've got a lot of consistency to my thematicism. This is Wood Prophet, singular. It's kind of a ritual kind of piece in a way, and that's what we're trying to do here. That's why we're going to imbibe a little bit of something over here soon, and you all join us. Our culture is, what's the word? When you have a lack of something. Yeah, paucity or a scarcity of a dearth. That's the one. A dearth of rituals. We don't have a dearth of brainy people out here on the side of the barn, but yeah. So rituals, coming of age. Yeah. There's holidays, there's birthdays, and so forth like that. But it's more about acknowledging in an inner way. So hopefully we'll do a little bit of that. Thank you very much. Hopefully that was all right without a windscreen or a pop guard. So we're going to do a little changeover of flutes. This is a G Taimu Shakuhachi. For those of you joining us from outside the Cornelius Boots, Edmund Wells, and Blackhurst Shakuhachi School sphere, this is essentially a baritone, almost what I would consider bass size of the standard shakuhachi, which is a kind of a little flute for us. And these are a little more, as you can hear, a little more earthy. So we're going to go down another half step. These are in G. We're going to get F sharp flutes, do the ah and om, take the stage. So while we're doing the reset here, you can open up another tab, look up Kongo Seki, and you can look up the guardian statues at the temple of Todaiji in Nara, and that's where these statues are ah and om, and that's my shakuhachi teacher Michael Chikuzen Gould has tattoos of those statues, and that started this sort of shakuhachi based tattoo thing, which is shakuhachi notation. Most of you have seen that. So that's ah and om, inhale and exhale, and so this is a kind of a narrative piece written years ago, never been played on flutes this big, which is what it was intended for. It's just now occurring to me that our balance will not be super great with the microphones. So I'll be backing up. So we'll be a little bit at a distance so that Kevin and I are equal. You come up and get set up, Kevin. I'll get the new flute. Oh, nice. Thanks, everybody. Hey there, Jason Schorn. If he sticks around, he'll see we'll crack open the special beverage that he acquired at great aptitude. So those other two pieces are brand new. They'll be on the new album, which comes out tomorrow. Just kidding. I did not record an album in the last week. But the current plan is for the next album to be recorded on analog tape and made in vinyl. So no digital until the very end, where we can put it up for the kids. Actually, the kids are buying vinyl. This piece, there is one version that I had to overdub myself of the mukyoku album. There's 27 pieces I wrote for these big flutes. And we don't have it memorized. So I'm going to get my music. Oh yeah, the page change. How will this work? Clothespins are the outdoor gigs musicians' friends.
Seems to be a nice natural break after page 1.
Oh yeah, good call. Set that up. Okay.
There's a nice natural breeze as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely not overheated right now, but okay. So bear with us. So the sound on this may be just a little creative. Congo, yeah, Congo Seki is what it's like. They have a lot in it. Congo Seki. What IG? No. So you can get up pictures of them. Natural break if I can get all the way over to the music. The illustrious Kevin Chen, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, he's standing behind a microphone. Let's adjust that. Is that good to stand there? Sorry if that microphone moving is loud. You guys can still hear us? Somebody give the thumbs up if you can still hear us. Play a note. I don't see any thumbs up. You guys can't hear us? Anyway, we have to warm up anyway. Okay, the power of two big flutes outside. They're not actually that powerful. They get quieter as flutes get bigger, but we're going to try to muster the power. All good?
I think so.
And a 1 and a 2. You know what to do. Ah and take the stage. All righty. Thanks, everybody. We know that that wasn't balanced with where the microphones were, but that's how it goes when you're out in the woods. It's pre-balanced, so if it's not balanced on the audio, that'll give you something to look forward to next time. So here at the post-music part of the program, thanks, everybody. Thanks for all the comments over there. I have my bifocals on so I can see. So the rest of the little whatnot here is based on that we're going to have a toast, not just to me because I've been playing Shakuhachi for 20 years, but I just happened to know the day that I got it because I had the receipt for some time, and there was a party that I was involved in the day that I got it, and that was this flute here. It came through. I'll tell you the story. It came from the Old Town School of Folk Music in Chicago, where I was teaching, and I heard Shakuhachi on a recording. And I asked the guy who sold the instruments and sheet music there if he knew how to get one. He knew Ken Lacoste, who was out here. And as you know, I've worked with him for many years on the big flutes. And he actually made this flute, which is not quite of the type that we play. The interior is reconstructed. So it's not bamboo on the inside, but on the outside. And, you know, it was very difficult to get. I was already a professional musician, woodwinder, and so at this party, it was in the room where everybody would put their coats, and I think I would have people try to play it, and I would show them just how difficult this was. That was April 7th, 2001, back in the early aughts. And so then you know, it sort of grew from there, and the bamboo eventually took over. But that as relates to that, my experience as a bass clarinetist, bari sax, alto sax, clarinet, flute teacher and performer, I consider what Shakuhachi is and what we're up to on it to be at this archetypal core of woodwinding. And so I'm kind of finally compiling my ideas about stylistic cross-pollination, circular breathing and playing bass lines, original composition, the place of original music in the overall repertoire, the idea that instrumentalists of any kind are not bound by genre constraints, but rather the other way around, that we have styles at our bidding to do what we want, as opposed to the other way around, which is not a known aesthetic, particularly in the classical world or in the traditional instrument world. There's a kind of a ceiling put over things based on the style and history, and oftentimes domination-based hierarchical structures. None of that is pro-creative expression. And so to help other woodwinders out, I'm writing a book, and titles and names are very important to me. And so I finally landed on a title, which some of you know, and I'll show you all on the display here. Okay, here's the drum roll. No, you can't hear it because the mics are over there. Okay, this is the title: Woodwind Primeval. Oh, it looks backwards to me. Can you guys see it? Everything's mirror images. All right, so it's called Woodwind Primeval. So Woodwind Primeval sums up the kind of, it's not a style, it's a more of a, it's a lifestyle. It's a way of life. But this is a manifesto method book. All right, I'm going to read you the subtitle is Depth and Substance in Reed and Flute Musicianship. A manifesto method book for reconnecting woodwinders to the old ways, actually the very old ways. A pocket universe of ancient techniques and new repertoire for woodwinders who truly want to explore time, tone, and nature and play from their deeper self. You know, as I read these things out loud when I'm not in my own head in the morning, they sound very lofty, but it's really what I mean. It's really what I intend. So there's a bigger synopsis here. It says basically the same stuff. It's also kind of a reform movement. You see, I went to a university conservatory style music school. And luckily, they had a thriving jazz program, which is where my creative side was really encouraged. Other than that, it was outside of school with the band that my brother and I had that was the creative, i.e., the life path part of my activities at that time. Sure, there's training, but that's what I consider older styles and classical styles and traditions to primarily be a core training at their best, not a ceiling, not a destination. It's like with ecology, where recycling is a good starting point and a terrible ending point if you're going to try to save the earth. Anyway, so here are the goals: complete stylistic freedom, an ethos of equality and diversity as relates to style, as relates to everything actually, but complete freedom of roles, emancipation from melody only. So you could hear that we were doing bass lines and rhythmic punctuations. Reverent, respectful, symbiotic approach to the player-instrument relationship. A substantial repertoire and performances for solo unaccompanied modality, which you heard today, and homogeneous small group format, which you also heard today. So this is my phrase, homogeneous small group format. What does that mean? It means the same instrument multiplied, because they like to play together, the flutes. So there you go. Fall 2022 is my goal. If you're a publisher and an illustrator and an editor, email me so that we can figure out how to. It's going pretty good writing it, but I don't know what to do after that in terms of getting it to people. Woodwind Primeval. So this is another phrase. Wood Prophet, Black Earth Shakuhachi School. All these things kind of point towards an ethos. And besides my own 20-year anniversary, I've been very much exploring old, primarily Mississippi Delta blues, sort of proto blues artists like Son House and Skip James and Charlie Patton lately. So those of you might know Charlie Patton, and he recorded quite a bit of tunes between 1929 and 1934, and his birth date is unknown, but it was sometime April of 1891. So we're also going to toast, when we toast in a couple seconds, to Charlie Patton's 130th birthday. He also died in 1934 on April 28th, which is just also around the corner. So 130, Charlie Patton, here he is. There's only one picture of him. And talk about earthy. William, no, so nobody's, we don't want anybody drowning in scotch, but we are going to try to turn the camera around and do a little toast here. And so you guys can join us for that. And then we're going to cut the live stream. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time, because we're just going to raise a glass. I will talk a little bit about the special beverage we're going to crack open, which was not made in 2001. It's not 20 years old, but I do have some port that's 20 years old if you guys want that, because I don't really drink that. Alcohol, by the way, is not good for you. It cuts you off from your higher self and your spiritual aspirations. So you have to make a choice between meditating and spiritual cultivation or booze. I can see all of you laughing. I know, I can tell what choice you're making right now, especially some of you. But so balance is the key. And some things just taste so good. You can't get that flavor without fermenting. You know, fermentation is big magic. Fermentation is big magic. We'll stick with that. Okay, so we're gonna reset and reset the camera. So talk amongst yourselves, or if you have to go, great to see you. Thanks for coming. That's it for the music. We had a little backup small flute duet planned, but it would go very poorly if we tried it. So we'll do that next time. Let's see here. I'll be right back.
He has glasses for all of us. He'll tell you all about it. It's just one bottle.
Put a little Charlie Patton on in the background. It's public domain, so hopefully YouTube doesn't cut the thing on. Uh-oh, now we've got people on this. Camera.
That looks good.
Yeah?
I can see Felicity works. Yeah.
Everybody's so patient, and this is a unique event.
Sounds great.
All right, this is like the radio announcer now. Welcome to KWAMMPQ. It sure is, Nicholas. Right about that. Okay, so you can't see the tray here, but I'll tell you a little story about this beverage here. The Bourbon County Stout. Some of you in the States understand what this is. And Jason Schorn, if you're still on, he got this for me from the Midwest. It's made in Chicago. In 2008, this is just my dark beer snob story. In 2008, there was a hop shortage. And in that summer, it was a great summer for me because all these seasonal summer beers were bittered with like chocolate and coffee and things like that I like, as opposed to hops. And that year I discovered the Bourbon County Stout from Goose Island. And it's like molasses except as a beer, and that tastes like burnt oak chip chocolate bar. So that's what we're gonna have, unless you'd rather have the port. I can get that too.
Yeah, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, it sounds. So we've got some glasses here. So we're gonna crack this open and have a toast. These virtual toasts are getting more and more common. I think that's the only way people are gonna drink in the future. So thanks, Jason Schorn. And let's crack this open. It's got to be a good occasion. We've been aging it since 2017. You can age these for about 5 years. So here it is.
Spirits for the spirits.
That's right. Yeah, we have to pour some out for Charlie Patton too.
20 years.
Get Charlie out here. There we go. That was a song about the boll weevil destroys cotton. I mean, just take a look at this. Is a thick, I don't know if you can see. It's like motor oil.
Yum.
Motor oil, bubbly.
Yeah.
Everyone's appetite sounds great.
Yeah. So that's good. I think the rest will be mine.
Well,
You really
well
love it.
lubricated.
And if you don't love it, then yeah, there you go. This is the Gordon cup there. This is the Felicity cup there.
It's an 80s one.
Yeah. Kevin gets there's a special. This is the speakeasy. This is the speakeasy style. This comes from the Indiana University cafeteria. Everybody, Indiana University cafeteria. This is where I went to school.
You steal that?
No, it was donated. Yeah, it's got quite the bouquet. Okay, so now let's have some words. The toast. Okay, so we'll also have a little for Charlie Patton. So I just would like to acknowledge all the great support that I have, friends and family, all the ancestors, all the Shakuhachi people and woodwinder people and music people that came before myself, and everyone who will come after. And this, the context and opportunities I've been sort of given really to explore my creative personality and expression and see what the instruments feel like doing in terms of evolution. And that's the most fun thing that there is. And I feel very lucky to be able to do it. And with the old stick of bamboo, as they say. They don't say that, but we're saying it now. So this is
Here, here.
20 years.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers, everyone. Everyone, I could tell that Bane is raising a glass.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right.
Charlie Pat.
And to Charlie Patton, we'll give Charlie a little bit first. To Charlie, we love your music and we will remember you. There we go. Making a mess out in the wood chips.
Oh my.
I'm gonna have to keep you here for a while, not let you try.
Yeah, that's why I only poured that amount. It's a 14%. It tastes like a meal.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert.
Wow, that's yummy.
Isn't it though? Wow, this aged very well.
Yeah.
I licked the top so nobody can have any more.
Your strategy.
My habit. I didn't mean to do that.
It's not a habit, it's a strategy.
It's a strategy. Habit strategy. So actually, for those of you still on and thinking about stout, and I know that Vaughn is. All right, Vaughn with Dragon's Milk is. They do make more beers like this these days, and Dragon's Milk comes close. So Vaughn's drinking very similar. To relax in order to play the big flutes, this was a big part of my process in 2008. Kampai. Salut. Skål. Yeah. Hot tea also works very well to bring a sort of awareness. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I drink this, you're right. So to have a tasty beverage of any kind and practice the flutes. Whereas on the old instruments, you couldn't get your pads sticky. The clarinets and saxophones and flutes. Anything that has sugar in it, alcohol, sugar, it's a terrible idea. Cheers. There's Sister Jill. Okay, now we're going to have each person is going to step up to the mic and talk about their experience of this beer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
Going slow there, yeah. Have you had anything like it before?
Closest would be like a Scotch ale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of those really heavy, yeasty, not hoppy.
Right.
Opposite of hoppy.
Right.
Yeasty, sweet.
Yeah. It's like
Oh.
so for those of you still on, I'll tell the story about why the what did I call it?
Velocity.
The speakeasy, the cup that Kevin has there is the teacup, drinking booze from the teacup. All right, Scott, he's down the street, but so far away. All right, that's great. So I'll tell the story, leaving some parts out maybe, where I visited my teacher in the middle of my Shakuhachi training. A lot of other strange circumstances around this time. It was 2006, and it was his last day living in Ann Arbor, and they were packing up and moving. But I happened to be in the Midwest, and I went for like a day and a half of lessons. And we went to a place called Ann Arbor Brewing, and they had 2 tasty dark beers. And so I got one with the meal, and then they had these things called growlers, which I didn't really know what they were, but it meant you could get it to go. So I thought, good, I can get this other one for later, like after our lessons tonight. And so, of course, it's 64 ounces, which I didn't realize. It's like a half gallon of 10% stout. So we finished the lessons, and then they're leaving the next day, so it's not like we can leave it in the fridge, and they can enjoy it there in Ann Arbor. So my teacher sort of got out some cups like that because everything else was packed, and just started hanging out and trying to finish it, and told some great story. Well, I heard some great stories and had sort of a psychedelic experience, actually, of Shakuhachi stories of training and living in Japan. And I did not feel well the next day. The lessons still went really well, but this area was not too happy with me. So this is about as much as we can do. So use moderation. All right, the Western Game speaks. Nice. Well, everybody, this has been great. I think we're coming up to the computer's going down. It's at 36%. And can you guys hear the Charlie Patton? We'll just keep the live stream going until it gets very close to an hour, and then we'll cut it out. So if anybody has anything else to say, now's the time. The lizard there.
Congratulations, Cornelius.
Congratulations.
Thanks. This is fun. We should do it every week.
20 years is a long time.
Yeah. Well, I was sharing that with some students where when you find an esoteric instrument like shakuhachi, like sitar or tabla or something, and you get this idea, oh, wow, you have this impression that anybody that's playing less than about 20 years probably doesn't really know what they're doing, which is kind of true in a way, but it's only the beginning. It's really nice out right now, huh? Yeah.
Chilly.
How's the phone? It took a little tumble.
Oh yeah, actually it's still on. Yeah. Thank you, phone.
Yeah. All right. A spoon. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Bob. Maybe a knife and fork.
To cut the beer.
Or like a waffle to soak it up. You just sort of dunk a waffle in there. Yeah, I don't know if I gave you enough. I did lick the top, but yeah.
I was expecting like a light alcohol.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But then okay, betrayed.
Yeah.
It's alcohol content.
Yeah.
Light's not a
Yeah.
word I'd associate.
So for those of you still on the live stream, let's give you a little tour around. This camera is a little flexible, so we'll.
It's grappa.
Cornelius, did you hear this description?
No.
It may not be the most complimentary.
Oh.
I think it's like Guinness meets Marmite meets grappa.
Nobody in California knows what some of those things are.
Have you ever had Marmite?
Is it like
Her tails.
Bullion?
Vegemite.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can see that that's not totally inaccurate.
Yeah, I can imagine putting a little spoonful in the pot when you're brewing up.
Look at that. For those of you who get motion sick, get off the call. And there's the barn. That's for the solar power there if you want to turn the solar panels off. And then in that door, that secret door, that's where
That's what you see. That's what they're doing.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for coming to the mini concert. 20 years. Let's see if I forgot anything on my agenda. Bourbon County. Jason Schorn, thank you. Toast. Played Shakuhachi. Woodwind Primeval. Charlie Patton, 130. We've covered it all. We've covered a lot. We've covered a lot of ground here. Covered a lot of ground. Had a few laughs. Where does that come from? Where do I quote that from? Oh, it's from Will Ferrell playing Harry Carey with Jeff Goldblum as his guest. Yeah. Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Adios. See you next time. See you in November.
Cheers.
All right, I saw that. Sorry, that was a false start. Yeah, exactly. I can't believe you know that, Andy. Yeah, we could do the whole sketch. Like, what's your favorite planet? Mine's the sun, because it's like the king of planets. Yeah. And he says he doesn't understand the question. You can look it up. The SNL has put everything on YouTube now, so Andy knows that. Yeah, if the moon was, he said they've shown now that the moon is not made of green cheese. But if it was, would you try it? So okay, this is the real. Yeah, Bob is right. We'll probably have another online concert before the Old First Church concert, and yeah, he'd polish it off with a tall, cool Weiser. Okay, here's to Harry Carey. Thanks, everybody.